National Basketball Association. We are things. We got a bit of heat,
Bit of spice.
bit of spice in your life, bit of Spice Girls.
What's he say on Futurama when he squeezes the spice weasel?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one, but I will look that up.
Well,
Spice Weasel. Okay,
this is all.
we got a sermon of Spice Weasel. Look, obviously, a lot happens in a week of basketball. We kind of want to just focus on some of the big things going on, like the current Giannis and Harden beef. I'd say it's
beef.
It is big beef. Big beef. Quick chat about one of our fans sent in a hot take that we put on our socials that we want to have a bit of a discussion about whether the Bucks are the real deal here. And I think this will kind of tie into the Harden and Giannis kind of feud going on. And then, Jake, you hit us with the Westbrook dilemma last week or 2 weeks ago. You got a new one for us, the Luca dilemma.
I've got the Luca dilemma, which is a hurtful statement.
Oh, it's a hurtful statement.
You love your dilemmas, don't you?
I also love Luca.
We're all in dilemmas.
Jack just sits there pondering dilemmas.
Exactly. That is what I do.
What a dilemma.
It's the dilemma.
dilemma.
Trying to study, keeps getting caught in dilemmas.
Oh no, another dilemma. All right, jump on our socials. Let us know your thoughts. We'll be posting things throughout the week. Facebook, Instagram. Like, subscribe, rate, review. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Jab Podcast.
Pull up, I pull up, yeah. Pull out to your crib, I got the come on and I'm swerving. Yeah. Say I'm not your man, but I'll be right there at your service.
So let's actually mix it up. Let's start with the Bucks. So Zach Bax, one of our listeners who...
Long-time friend.
Very good friend. I was actually best man at his wedding.
First-time caller.
First-time caller. Well, no, he sent me a few hot takes, but I've never really rated them. Sorry, Zach. But this one he sent through to me on the weekend.
Too hot, or just lukewarm?
Nah, too substantial. Like, he put way too much thought into it, and I was like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about more than I do. Don't want him to show me up. No, but on the weekend, we saw... we put it up on our socials, and it's pretty much saying we're all underestimating the Bucks right now. At the moment, so straight from him, I've got a take for you. Milwaukee isn't a buzzsaw. They are the Death Star. Sure, there is a fatal flaw. If you can wall Giannis off in the playoffs, they will self-destruct. But that's a whole lot easier said than done. And if you can't do that, they don't beat you. They blow up your whole freaking planet, and people should be more concerned about that. Giannis just had his 8th game of the season this season with 30 points in less than 30 minutes, which has never happened before, and their plus-minus over the course of the season is the greatest in history. If either LA team did this, we would be saying shut the gate. Backing up onto this as well, today ended the Bucks' streak of 83 100-point games, and Giannis also put up 41 points and 20 rebounds. Are we all underestimating the Bucks?
Absolutely not.
Why?
The fatal flaw being Giannis.
Yep.
We saw it get shut down last playoffs. What evidence do we have apart from a great regular season against a very weak East? Do we have to say that it's going to be any different to last playoffs?
You don't think he's clearly grown as a player, and his role players around him are better than they were.
Yeah, but he looked unstoppable in the regular season last year.
Yeah, got MVP, and he'll probably get MVP again.
He'll definitely get MVP again. Postseason is a completely different story, and until I see it, the Bucks don't stand a chance.
Do you see them making the Eastern Conference?
I hope. If they don't come out of the East, something is seriously wrong.
And also, this year, we have not seen anyone shut down. Like, I know it's only been regular season, but we haven't seen anyone shut down Giannis.
No, because
And that's even players like Kawhi and, incredibly good defenders. No one can shut him down at the moment. He's too big, too strong, too powerful. His ability to drive to the rim, his rim work has been incredible.
But here's the question. Don't smirk at me like that after a comment like that. His rim work has been incredible. Here's the thing. His role players are playing much better. Chris Middleton is stepping up.
Yep.
But what happens when Paul George shuts down Chris Middleton? And let's say that this is saying that there's a Clippers-Bucks matchup.
Yep.
And Giannis suddenly has to do it by himself. Do you believe that Giannis can do it by himself?
Well, last week I said I didn't. Like, I still think the Lakers or the Clippers are your real contenders. But the more I'm watching the Bucks play and how efficient, like, LeBron's having to put up 30, 35 minutes to get every dub. The Bucks, Giannis isn't in full flight yet. He's playing sub 30 minutes for the most part. I think he's just averaging over 30 minutes now at this stage in the season, which is wild. Like, he has not had the workload that someone like LeBron James has had.
I do believe, truly, as soon as the postseason begins, that first round they'll do it easy because at the moment they're facing the Magic and that's not going to be a hard test.
No.
I think once you get into the later stages of the finals, and especially if they make it to the NBA finals, Giannis is going to have to step up and do it basically all by himself. I think instead of finding a way to get around Giannis, like Baxi is proposing, I think they're going to make him win the whole series by himself.
Do a 2013 LeBron James and put the whole team on his back.
And I just don't think anybody but that 2013 LeBron James can do that. And Jordan
That's
back
fair.
in the day.
We haven't seen Giannis be able to, I guess, take a team on his back in playoffs where defense is just elite. What do you reckon, Brad?
I think he can.
You think he can?
I think he can. I think the Lakers and the Clippers or the Rockets or
Western
maybe
Conference, yeah.
maybe Denver will tire each other out to the point where they are going to win this in the back half of a 7-game series.
Yeah, drop the first one or two and then come back
As you said, Giannis is averaging 31 minutes a game,
next to nothing.
29.9 points and 14 rebounds as well
Yeah.
in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
As you said, no one has been able to do it but LeBron. Giannis is playing at that level of dominance that LeBron was. And he has better role players around him.
I don't know if better is the right word, but he's definitely...
Kyrie is better.
Kevin Love.
I believe Middleton and Bledsoe.
Tristan Thompson played well.
I think an overall roster,
Yeah.
the Bucks is better than
It's very
that Cavs.
comparable, at least. Yeah. So do you think there's anyone in the Eastern Conference that can challenge the
No.
Bucks? No?
No,
No one?
not at
Jake,
all.
do you reckon?
I think the 76ers talent sure can. The way they have been playing, no.
What about the Celtics?
I think the Celtics have
are-
great potential, but it's going to be if they adjust to Jason Tatum is our star player and we all get around him, watch out.
The Celtics are going to get done in the paint by the Bucks.
Yeah.
They've got no one who can stop Giannis in the paint.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's where they come undone. I think everywhere else they can match the Bucks easily. But in that paint, Giannis is going to absolutely dominate.
So I wonder if almost the Eastern Conference is going to cater towards Giannis's abilities. Let's be
It's the
honest.
same as
He can outmuscle. Who's really going to stop him in the Eastern Conference? Like,
it's the same as LeBron when he was in the East.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yes, other teams overall may be better, but the dominant player will win. Basketball in general, the best player on the court wins in a 7-game series, as we see with LeBron.
yeah, in theory. And then By that logic, though, the Clippers and the Lakers both have better squads than the Bucks.
Yes, but I think that's where it's going to come down to health.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like I was saying, that's something I think Giannis is up his sleeve. He's not a tired boy. Like, he's not averaging big minutes.
No, and he's not averaging major minutes, and that's just because they're playing so well.
And the team's net rating actually is reasonable when he's off the court, something that the Lakers really struggle with. The moment LeBron's off, they...
Well, I was reading today, even with AD on and LeBron off, they are a terrible team.
Yeah, I saw that too. But then also, usually when LeBron's off, it means that, like, AD's feeding the ball to Kuzma, Rondo.
Yeah, but these are the guys, they're going to have to play like that in the finals. They're going to have to. And that could be a 6-minute span that loses them a game.
So last week, you were also you weren't really big on the Bucks. Has this kind of changed your opinion on them? Or just seeing, now that you've paid a bit more attention to how well he's playing?
It's more just going into deeper thought about it.
Yep.
With taking that, like LeBron is averaging 35 minutes a game.
Yeah. At 35 years of age.
At 35 years of age.
Giannis is 24.
And he is the only player in the league, I believe, can go one-on-one with Giannis.
Yeah.
I don't think Kawhi can, because Kawhi can't match him for minutes.
Nah. That's a good point. And I think, like, Clippers obviously have the advantage that they can swap out any players, but
that's if Paul George is the only one on that Clippers team that could even guard Giannis
Paul George
one-on-one.
is still
Injured.
I know he played against the Sixers, but he's definitely not looking hundo. Let's it's a good one. I actually really like this. Hey, when Zach sent it through to me, I was like, there's a lot of merit to this. Like, this is a...
I think you're both going to be very surprised with the Celtics.
Disappointed?
No, I think you're going to be very surprised with the Celtics.
Sorry, disappointed in the Bucks because of the Celtics will perform?
I don't think you're going to see a disappointment in the Bucks. I genuinely believe when it comes to the Eastern Conference Finals, I do believe it'll be Celtics Bucks.
And who wins?
And I believe that the Celtics will outplay them. And you'll just like anybody supporting the Bucks won't be like, oh, we choked. It'll be like, we got outplayed.
We need more help.
Yeah. And you're a small market franchise. You're just not getting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sad times, but.
Sad boy. What do you reckon? All right. Moving on. What do you reckon about the Giannis and Harden beef at the moment? I've got the quote here. Harden, in an interview with ESPN, I wish I could be 7 feet, run and just dunk. That takes no skill at all, Harden said. I got to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill. I'll take that any day.
As you guys know, I'm not Harden's biggest fan.
You are Harden's number one fan.
And I have actually come back on him this year a little bit.
Yep.
This is like turned me right around, big old handbrake, U-turn, see you later, Harden, you are scum.
You don't believe he's more skillful than
Of course he's more skillful than a guy who's 7 foot. He's 7 foot, for Christ's sake. Most people who are 7 foot can't even bounce a basketball.
I.e. Jokic.
Like, no, seriously, you've seen those really tall guys at school. Like, Alex, you're a tall man, but there's guys who are taller than you, and they look so uncoordinated doing absolutely anything.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Giannis has improved his skill every single year. He has gotten better at basketball in every aspect of the game every single year because he puts in the work. Don't fucking tell me that he's not putting in the work, which is what Harden is saying. He's saying his natural ability is getting him to an MVP and a unanimous MVP, which he will have this year.
You don't think that's reading into it way too much?
No, that's what he's saying. He's saying, I've had to put in the work to increase my skill to get here as a basketball player.
Which is
He's
true.
7 foot tall. He can run and dunk. Guess what, Harden? You can run and dunk too because you're 6'4". And you can run and dunk as well. I've seen it. So when you can run and dunk and average 30 points without the free throws, without the three-pointers like Giannis does, go right ahead.
Do you think this is a little jab back at Giannis after his comments at the All-Star break.
Exactly.
Because this is what I think. I think this is the media
is
getting
fair
real
rebuttal.
excited. And yeah, a bit of a, Giannis was like, oh, well, I want someone who's going to pass me the ball, so I'm going to go with, I think, Kemba or whoever.
It was Kemba, yeah.
And this is just Harden being like, well, at least I've got the talent to play.
Well, this is exactly what it was. This was Rachel Nichols asked him about the comment.
Yeah.
And that's where the quote come from. But I think Harden is misinterpreting what Giannis was saying. And I think the language barrier with Giannis, he didn't mean it that way. What he was saying, I believe, is he wants to be the star of the team. And Kemba will make him more of a star than Harden would because Harden's going to shoot his shot.
That's fair. I personally think it's Giannis having a joke because Giannis was a funny boy during that whole draft.
I honestly think he doesn't even mean to be funny.
Yeah.
He just sort of says things a bit wrong.
He's just that foreigner who makes jokes and you're like, I guess that is funny. Yeah.
Because he didn't speak English as a youngster.
Yeah, it seems like a weird thing for them to have beef about though. Like, obviously, and I wonder if we are reading into this too much because obviously we like to build up this whole Harden versus Giannis. They're both really in contention for the MVP award.
No, they're not.
Well, they both were at the start of the season, without a doubt. They're the two front runners. I know Giannis is well ahead, but Harden's coming second.
LeBron should be second.
I don't think he is.
Harden's not even the best player on his own team at the moment. Westbrook is.
Look, this is where you need to take a step back. Your bias is so out of control right now. You gave Giannis absolutely no fault in what he said at the All-Star game. He's on TV. He's the captain of one of the teams. And he laughs off saying, I want someone who's going to pass the ball.
Which is a fair statement on Harden, who is known for over-dribbling the ball.
So is Giannis. He is also known for not passing the ball. He's known for being a ball stopper.
But one's a guard and one's a forward.
Yeah, all right, let's put it in another light. Giannis wants all the credit if Team Giannis wins. That's what Giannis wanted in the All-Star game. He then makes a rebuttal that if he would love to be 7 foot tall because if he was 7 foot tall, he could just run straight through and dunk. Could he not? Absolutely he could.
Yeah.
He can do that now. I've seen him do it.
How many 7-footers are in the NBA with no skill?
He's 8 inches shorter than 7 foot. That is a significant size.
Yeah, but I've still seen him run and dunk.
Yeah, but he's not
And
going to
run through and dunk.
He's
The
not
amount
going
of
to
people-
drive through people like Giannis can.
The amount of people with a lack of skill at his height, no one.
Yeah, but they're not stars.
Yeah, but this is what he's
The
saying.
7-footers without skill are not stars like Giannis is.
He could still be in the NBA if he was a 7-footer because he could just run and dunk.
That's very debatable.
And he
like
wouldn't have
the
had to work
percentage-
so hard on his 3-point shot.
It's
his
very
free throw
debatable,
shooting,
though, because-
his step back, his dribbling.
And I'm not saying he's not a skillful guy. I never said that. I never said he didn't work hard. I'm saying he's saying that it's easy to be a 7-footer and run and dunk. It's certainly not. Because we've seen 7-footers who could barely even run.
Yeah, I understand what you mean by that because 100% we see centers at the moment who are terrible. 7 foot doesn't necessarily equate. There is, of course, a correlation. I think there's some stat that if you're born in America and you're 7 foot or taller, your chances of playing in the NBA increase by 18%.
Which, of course they do, because of that fact. But you see them in high school and in college, and they just literally put them at the rim, give them the ball and say, dunk it. But that's not Giannis' style.
No,
But outside of running and dunking, what does Giannis have?
He has an okay three-pointer, an okay mid-range jumper.
He averages 1.53 threes a game.
Yeah, but he's not taking them either.
In a three, he
Three
takes 4.5 or something.
So he's averaging the same as Westbrook.
So he's like 25% from three.
Which is bad. Anything under 30 is bad.
Defense, Giannis is a good defender.
But in terms of his skill level, which is what Harden refers to.
So you're telling me that Giannis isn't skilled?
I'm saying that he's nowhere near as skilled as Harden.
And I'm not debating that. I never once
Yeah,
said
but
that.
you tore down Harden's comments as just completely trashing on Giannis. All he said was, but I wish I could just run and be 7 foot tall and dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all.
he said that takes no skill.
I'm reading it. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that takes no skill at all.
But it does take skill to be able to do that.
Less than
It takes a lot of athleticism and skill to be 7 foot tall and run like Giannis does and dunk and have the athleticism with the ball in hand.
This is my point about the Bucks. I think when it comes to the playoffs, you're going to see Giannis struggle because people aren't going to allow him to do what he knows best.
Who do you think will be more successful? Brad, I'm going to start with you. The Bucks or the Rockets?
Who's leading the Rockets? Is it
James
Westbrook?
Harden's Rockets versus Giannis's Bucks.
Giannis's Bucks, but if it's Westbrook's Rockets,
Nah, I don't want to.
They
It's
can-
not part of my.
it's Westbrook's Rockets right now.
Who do you reckon? Harden's Rockets? Because in the playoffs, you know everyone's going to be feeding the ball to Harden.
Who's going to be more successful this playoffs?
Yeah, who do you think would be more
Bucks, of
successful?
course. I don't know what the Rockets have done this year, but it's clear that something's not right organisational-wise.
Yeah, it's a strange one, actually. I think Mike D'Antoni's under a lot of pressure.
They've won 6 in a row.
Who?
Rockets.
Yeah, Rockets are playing well.
Yeah.
Since they changed to that small ball, which made Westbrook the leader of the
Yeah,
team,
that's true.
they have won 6 in a row.
That's true. And Westbrook is balling. But I guess...
And Westbrook has stepped back in
reason
his
I'm-
threes, and Harden's a spot-up shooter, basically.
Yeah, but I guess the reason I'm asking is, you know, we can always say, all right, one's more skillful, but one, you know, obviously Giannis is incredibly skillful and athletic. Obviously Harden's incredibly skillful and athletic. You swap either their bodies around, and if you had someone who could shoot 3-pointers at 7 foot, like James Harden was 7 foot with Giannis' body shooting 3-pointers, he'd be a modern day superstar.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah, modern day superstar. That's a
It's
good point.
Kevin Durant.
If you put Giannis' athleticism into James Harden, you still have a superstar.
It's Russell Westbrook.
Except
Yeah.
bigger. Slightly bigger, I feel.
Maybe an inch or two bigger, but it's Russell
very,
Westbrook.
But very similar. And they're still bona fide superstars. So I almost feel like media, and it's something we rag on a lot, is the media getting involved and getting overexcited. It definitely doesn't seem like...
Well, it's just a spicy little thing to keep the hype around the NBA.
Yeah.
That's basically what the media has at this stage, where we're at that weird stage between All-Stars and playoffs.
Yeah.
You got to take any little grab you can get to create a headline, and this has done exactly that, and it's created a bit of fire.
It
That's
shocked
very
me.
true.
Kendrick Perkins has weighed in.
Kendrick Perkins is an idiot, and I
What would
never
he
want to
know?
hear anything
What
he
would
says.
know? What an idiot. All right, let's move on. The Luca dilemma.
The Luca dilemma, backpacking, piggybacking off the Westbrook.
Backpacking, piggybacking, it's the
Yeah,
same thing. Is you
same
just
thing.
got a bag, not a person.
Yeah,
Maybe the
same,
person's
same.
in your bag.
Like Pikachu.
He's not a person.
But Pikachu goes in the backpack. Anyway,
Like Pikachu.
piggybacking.
Pikachu lives in a Pokeball.
I've watched Detective Pikachu on the weekend.
All right,
right?
Jake. Pikachuing off last week's Westbrook.
Piggybacking off the Westbrook dilemma, as whether
Doesn't
you
Pikachu
reach
piggyback?
as whether you reach.
Doesn't Pikachu like ride Ash's shoulder?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
in the backpack.
Yeah, so
Sometimes he's in the
so
backpack.
you actually could have just no, but doesn't he also sometimes just like kind of perch
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
shoulder like a
Yeah,
parrot?
Like a bird.
Anyway,
So Pikachuing.
like the Westbrook dilemma, where if you reach a ceiling, do you just throw it all in? To what point do you allow a player like Luca, who is highly talented, the best young player we've got in the game,
Oh, debatable.
Not debatable.
Has been debated on this podcast.
at what point do you allow these injuries to just be, that's enough, we can't deal with it, we have to rebuild around somebody else?
How many games does he average a season?
He's only played 1.5 seasons.
Was last year his first year?
Yeah.
Yeah, got Rookie of the Year.
So weird, hey. Feels like a vet.
Yeah, yeah.
He's only 21.
He played 72 last year, which is decent.
That's big.
10 games only, yeah. How many games has he played this year?
He's only played 48.
Out of a possible 60. So he's already, and he's slated to miss another...
Well, 48 out of, like, Rockets have played 49. Have Mavs played 60?
Yeah.
That's only 12 games.
You know
He's
what?
20.
Yeah, but
A player at this age,
Well, this is what everyone was saying about Anthony Davis.
and he's only averaging 32 minutes a
When
game.
Anthony Davis came into the league, he missed something like 8 games and 10 games and 6 games and 12 games, and then
sat out half a season,
and then
three quarters of a
and
season.
then it was something like 25 games, and everyone was saying he's glass. He's made of glass. He's injury prone. No one seems to be having these same thoughts about Luca yet.
I think it's sort of off topic to your thing, Jay. Well, not really. AD, it's a bit different because of the body shape. A tall man like that
Yeah, it gets a lot of contact and
gets a lot of contact, takes longer to recover, maybe doesn't recover to full potential.
Enders takes longer to develop into his body.
Exactly.
yeah.
The longer limbs and that. But, yeah, and Pelicans, well, their hand was forced, but they had to move him on.
Yeah.
And instead of letting him go in free agency and trying to fight for him, they bit the bullet and traded with the Lakers.
Yeah. Look,
The question is, the Warriors obviously face this dilemma with Steph Curry.
Ankles?
and very nearly traded him to the Bucks, didn't they?
Yes.
Very close to getting rid of him. They held out.
Well, this
Suddenly he got better for long enough that they could get those 3 championships in 4 years. But again, he's still injured.
this is one thing that with Steph, people didn't want to draft him because of his ankles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it started from the beginning of his career. The beginning of his NBA career was always this question about it. Now it's not so much ankles, like with the hand, just an unfortunate accident, really. But he did have the occasional ankle issue last year.
Yeah. But like with Steph, they kind of got lucky because they
Very
remained low and were able to get Clay. And even though Draymond was in the second round, but they got Draymond out of it. So having Steph out created them to be able to build this dynasty. But for the moment, the Bucks, you kind of like, if this happens for the next...
The Mavs.
The Mavs.
For the Mavs. If this happens for the next 2 seasons, are you ready to move on? If this happens his entire rookie contract.
See, it's very dependent. Luca is a smaller body. Like we were saying, Luca's more similar in body size to Steph Curry than he is to AD. So these injuries, I'm concerned about, but I'm not
just a bit
overly.
thicker.
And I wonder if he is a thick boy. He clearly enjoys his Croatian food a bit too much when he goes back home.
Isn't he Lithuanian?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. But I think for the Mavs, who else they're going? What else are they getting?
Depends. You
Well,
can trade Luca for...
can-
I think his stocks are pretty high right now.
So why would they trade him?
Draft picked?
Why would they trade him?
Yeah, why would they trade him?
To get a star who you know is not going to be injured.
But are you that upset if you miss 10 games a year?
Well, that's it. Is it going to stay around 10 games or is it going to increase every year?
It's
13 right now.
So let's say it goes to 20.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario. I can't see him being much more than 20. And then next year he has another season of 20. You trade him.
What did Kawhi miss last year with the Raptors? Because there you have a guy who I believe missed around 18 games and was still on the verge of not healthy enough in the finals.
That's true.
We saw him decrease every single game as the finals went on.
Kawhi missed 82 games in the season, so he missed 22.
So he missed 22 games and he still was on the verge in the finals. We saw his ability decrease each game in the finals because his body was wearing down.
Do we see Luca on the same caliber as Kawhi?
in terms of can lift you to a championship?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah. You also got to think about the new wave that's coming through that'll be post LeBron, post KD, post
true.
Kawhi.
Well, and you put
Post Steph, yeah.
and you put
5
those
years'
players, the players the Raptors had around Luca on the Mavs. If you had those around Luca, then you've got to think that they're going to be a close chance. But so you've got a guy who's missed 22 games, but won a championship.
He's also played less than Luca this year.
Yeah, exactly. But that's load management. It's not injury.
It was partially load management last year too.
It
Coming
was,
off a
but
9-game season in 2017-18.
And we saw his knee wearing down towards the end. But so is this a matter of Mavs need to manage him better by getting a better team around him to give him that potential to be healthy in the playoffs and in the finals to win a championship?
Well, for Kawhi, to me, it's pretty simple. He's a 100% superstar. Obviously, for the Raptors, it was a bit of a risk because we hadn't seen him the season before. And the last time we'd seen him, he was in the Spurs system. So you're still a bit unsure about
He
how
was still a
good you
finals
really
MVP,
are.
though.
Yeah, 100%. But you're still not sure, like, is that the Spurs system and Pop, or is he genuinely this good?
Yeah,
Could
exactly.
he lift our team to that point? With the Mavs, Luca is 20.
Young boy.
And it's already happening. Like, it's not like he's had 6 years of...
Yeah, he
Decent
is 20,
games.
but how long's he been pro for? 16?
Yeah.
So he's already got 5 years of professional basketball.
I don't know if that makes it better. It means he's had
Yeah,
5
professional
more years of
wear and tear.
No, but that's...
In a much rougher European league.
But you look at Kawhi, who he broke down quite young as well.
Yeah, 64, 58, 66. He didn't really play over 70. He had only 2 seasons over 70 games.
Look, let's put our shoes in Mark Cuban's shoes. Feet in Mark Cuban's shoes. He's traded for Kristaps.
Yep.
He's got Luca, which by all accounts he thought was a steal.
He was.
He was, yeah, by all accounts.
It's definitely well and truly time to admit
Those
that.
two alone, I think you build for a playoff push in 2 years' time.
Look, I don't rate Kristaps enough, to be honest, for the cap space that he's taking up.
Yeah, he's on a lot of money.
I don't rate him high enough to be a piece.
That's fair. I definitely think he could contribute to it. But
Unless
if you
unless he's going to go to like 18 million or something.
you add like a Zach LaVine who wants out of Chicago,
And is the worst one of all time.
he's not that bad.
He's the worst team. Like, the team is meant to be built around him.
Yeah, but the team's been built horrendously.
He's a 3.
So what would you do, Brad? Just give it to me straight. Let's wrap it up.
Absolutely, I'm taking the risk.
Keep Luca,
Or
give him a contract max for 5 years, 160 mil.
100%.
I'm keeping Luca.
Keeping him.
Yep.
Alex?
I'm trading him.
What if it's Paul George? Because same injury concerns. Paul George is your leader. Are you also trading him?
Yeah.
Like, is it any injury riddled guy? You're just going, nah, I'm not dealing with you.
If it's getting progressively worse, like obviously there's all these things to consider, but if the injuries durations are getting worse over time and I'm not seeing that return, NBA is a cutthroat business now, and I make that decision because I know if I can do the Thunder trick and turn Paul George, if I can turn Luca into 7 first rounders,
Your value of the draft is too high, in my opinion.
I probably do over it, but I definitely think people are too attached to players. I think that'll do it for this week. Jump on our socials. Let us know your thoughts on the Luca dilemma. It's Jake, are you going to keep hitting us with dilemmas?
I will. Dilemmas, theories.
Fortnightly dilemma. I love it. Jump on our socials. Let us know your thoughts. Would you keep Luca? Would you trade him away? See ya.
Bye.
Adios.